mindset. But I also am getting a lot of feedback. People saying, okay, they work longer actually right now because
exactly, it's true. I don't
100%.
see your video, so I don't know if it will come in later.
Oh, sorry. I was just wanting to go to, yeah, it will come in now. I'll enable the video. I wanted to go live on YouTube. I think we're already live on YouTube. So
Okay.
let's do this. Let's get this started. Okay, come on. Where's this thing? Where's this thing? All right, all right, all right. Good to have you. You have around more than 119 people who registered.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so it looks like people, and funny enough is we always advertise our webinars like hectically. People don't want to hear about the subject, so I hope that
Okay.
we have a lot of people who are coming up because, especially now, because numbers are dropping because we're just opening up. People are going
Yes.
back to work and things like that. So let's just go live and allow everybody to just join us in. And yeah, 100%. So we're live, 100%. Welcome, welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. You're at the right webinar. We're going to be talking about how to invest in property using your tax. So you're at the right webinar. I'm here with Moses today, and more people are going to be joining us soon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us know where you guys watching from. Let us know where you guys watching from. You know, we like to have an interactive webinar, and look, we have lockdowns already, so we don't need to be locked down in this webinar. So let us know where you guys watching from, please. Let us know where you guys watching from, and 100%. And what you're excited to learn about today, because I mean, there's a lot of different ways to invest in real estate, and I'm with the right guy here who's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on. So please let us know where you guys are watching from, so we can welcome you directly. And also, if it's your first time coming in, let me know, so we can be able to welcome you directly. So I think that we must start, and the people who are using African time, who are going to be joining us on African time, they'll find us starting already. So I think we should get started. You know, what do you think? What do you think, Ramos?
Yeah, I think we can kickstart. I'm excited. It's a good platform to be in.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, so today I'm with Lufuno Moses Ramabulana, who is a COO, entrepreneur, investor, property developer, and property mentor. Moses, you are somebody who's trained in IT and innovation, where you develop some skills for systems analysis and project management, and then you're also using these skills to maintain and win in the property development sector. You're currently serving as a COO of Muma Group, where you bring your personal style to the team. And then you have exposure and experience in serving an executive management at different company boards, and also allow you to have both strategic thinking and the one that ensures executive execution for results. So one thing you also see is you pay attention to details, and you see things from different perspectives. And currently you are also, okay, so you're also a public speaker and an experienced property development coach. So one thing I also like about your bio and background is that you also at this point a COO of Muma and BMO, a group of companies, and then you're also at executive board for 125 Village Hub, with a property portfolio of around 100 million rand. And I think at Muma already you guys are on 500 million rand, so this is a little bit more. And then another thing is the director and co-founder of the Joseph Company, which is a private equity and venture capital investing in property, and a director or founder of Risana IQ Holdings, which is ICT and innovation company. Moses, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Quite a long intro, but thank you very much.
100%, 100%. It just shows that you've been doing a lot of stuff, and I mean, the people who are also don't know, not knowing you personally, I'm sure they also like seeing that this guy has been in the game for a long time. So before I actually ask you a lot of questions, I just wanted to say that we don't have a lot of venture capitalists in SA that are mainly focused in property game. So can you just tell me a little bit about what you guys do in terms of the Joseph Company, and then actually we usually start the interview with you actually telling me about yourself. But this is just something that just came in mind now to say, okay, right. A lot of venture capitalists I see are focused on cannabis, specific industries, marketing, agencies, all these other things. But in property, we don't have a lot of that. So can you guys tell me a bit about how that came about, and what inspired you guys to get into this business?
Thank you. For me, I think it's a bit of a combination of different experience and background. As you said, I come from an innovation space, IT and innovation space. One of the last things that I used to do before I moved full-time into property was to assist small businesses, IT companies, to literally commercialize their tech. So
okay.
It's an early stage technology company that needs a lot of money. And you know how tech companies, you need private investors, you need venture capitalists to be able to do that. Now
100%.
I move into property development and realize that the dream is big. We want beyond R1 billion.
Yes, yes.
Actually, in 2023, we want R1 billion portfolio. So to
100%.
do that, you need investors. You need to be able to drive investment to achieve such a dream. So it was more logical to say, if others are not doing it, we see the need, let's do it. Let's mobilize and bring people together and allow people a platform to invest. And that's how it came about.
100%, 100%. And I mean, obviously, you guys you will also explain a bit about how the Joseph company works and also how other young and coming developers can be able to benefit from that a little bit later. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about you before Muma Group and the Joseph company. I mean, you were in the IT space. What happened, and how did you get into real estate, actually?
So actually, long story, I studied at VETS, moved to, I finished my degree in India in computer science. I came back, got involved in different companies, including in government. I've worked in the IT space, developing IT systems. And then I got involved I've always wanted to move with the wave of IT. And I think the whole excitement about India is to be able to literally see young graduates do amazing things and being involved all over. So that inspiration, when I came back, it's always been there, that let's do something. You move to government, you find that government is moving very slow. You've got brilliant, great ideas that you can do. So in 2012, I joined the Innovation Hub, which for me was a light bulb moment, both for entrepreneurship, for my own entrepreneurial journey, and also in the IT space. I was involved, I was an innovation specialist. So I had to assist young tech artists, young guys with big dreams in the tech industry. Some of them, it was just a dream. You don't know how to make a business out of it. You know how it's like. You just So I had a big task, literally, and I'm very happy. Some of the people that came through that program for me are very successful right now as we speak in the IT space.
That's good news. Yeah, that's good news.
So in all that, you are in the innovation space. I tell you, it says go be an entrepreneur, because you watch yourself making others, helping others to make it, and you ask yourself, am I going to remain the guy behind the desk, more like a lecturer who's teaching something that they've never really implemented? And I needed to get something going. Of course,
100%.
in the IT space, it was a little bit slow. I met Dendi Matamera, who was a light bulb for me and a great inspiration, passionate about property. And he says, hey, let's do these things. I'm moving into property development. And I was excited to join and to learn something new. I think being in the innovation space, you realize that our experiences, we are a collection of our experiences. It's not about a career, it's about what I want to do. And if I'm committed to learn something new, you can always reinvent yourself. And even now in this season, it's a time when with COVID and all that, I see many people reinventing themselves. So that's been the theme for me. That's where I've come to. And property, I still do innovation and IT space through Risana. But property is what I'm driving more now, especially even with the venture capital, the Joseph company.
100%, 100%. No, that's cool, man. I mean, it sounds like a very interesting journey, seeing ideas develop and coming from nothing. That's something that's very, very tough, especially for a lot of entrepreneurs to say, you're having this big idea of, okay, this is what I want to do. And then how do you turn it into something that's, moldable and become a very good business? And seeing what you guys are doing right now with the Joseph company and Muma is very, very impressive. Okay, so one thing I wanted to ask though is obviously you guys had some struggles when you started out, and I'm assuming a lot of people who are watching this real estate investors. Some of them are aspiring real estate investors and they want to build businesses. What are some of the struggles that you guys had when you started out, and how did you guys overcome that?
Okay, the first biggest struggle it's money, and
Okay.
I think coming from my background, you realize that money it's not supposed to be a problem. You start with an idea, and it's about developing an idea, having the opportunity on the table. Then anybody can be able to come. The buzzword is collaboration. So we, of course, like anybody else, you struggle thinking, where will I raise the money and all those kind of things. And I mean, when we started the Dawn Village in 2016, especially with Dendi, he didn't have money himself. It was an issue of saying, what do we do? And then reached out to Contrast, who's an engineer. He used to sign plans for us back in the days. Reached out to him. We are doing property development. Do you want to be a partner? And that was the beginning. And so it was how we conquered the problem of money and lack of knowledge in certain things. It's all about collaboration. We had to be willing to collaborate and partner with others who are experienced, others who have gone ahead, sometimes even financially, who probably don't know what else to invest in or how to diversify their portfolio. I mean, an engineer now becoming a property developer, it was a way to diversify for him. So that's what we had to do. We held on to the dream and said, we will do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Get it done. 100%. So one of the things I'm picking up also is there's a lot of persistence behind the collaboration. And talking about collaboration, I think that is one of the ways we do creative financing in real estate, of which is one of the questions I wanted to ask you that we need to go into to talk about some of the other ways that people might be overlooking about how to get into real estate. And specifically, we're going to be talking about the tax issue or the tax method that can be used out amongst other ones. But before we get into that, I wanted to find out your views on what the COVID-19 did on the real estate market. What are you seeing on this real estate market and the COVID-19 impact on it today?
The impact has honestly been big. I mean, some of the construction, even to ourselves, we have 125 Village Hub, it's under construction. It had to stop because of the COVID-19. So that meant delaying the time of the launch, literally by another 3 to 4 months roundabout. So that the impact has been big. And I mean, we've seen in student accommodation, fortunately, for those who are funded by student accommodation, that didn't stop. It's still continuing. So that has been a plus. So you are able to offset some of the costs that you are losing on the other side of the business by keep on the income that is coming. But overall, as an industry, I mean, the real estate industry, what we have seen, the interest rate going down, it has sort of cushioned the blow a little bit. We were already in recession, as you know, so it's been hard. But for me, I always look at the positive side. I think the next 3 months or so, it's the time when we are going to experience. A lot of companies have had a relief from different government institutions and all that. So people who could have lost jobs 3 months ago still retain some jobs, but that money is drying up. So it means we are gonna see people lose jobs, people being retrenched in the coming 3 months. That will have a huge impact on real estate. So for me, we've always believed in focusing on affordable housing, which is the entry point. Whether new graduates or whether people who are downgrading, because some are going to definitely downgrade, who are saying that will then cushion the blow to some extent in the lower market. The upper market is going to suffer big time. And that's what we see happening. This will last maybe for the next 3 months will be heavy. It will last maybe the next coming year or two. And we can see the stability coming back again. But I still believe in real estate.
100%, 100%. And one of the things I wanted to say is the something that we're picking up is people who are not even sure about their jobs right now are looking to pick up new skills or started trying to invest in real estate. And I think that is a good thing if the deal works and the numbers are looking good. One of the things is also taking advantage of the interest rates. People who are now first-time home buyers or first-time real estate investors. Obviously, you know, you can't just go there and burn your fingers or burn yourself, but you need to be very, very, you know, doing your homework and making sure that you're investing in the right deals. Okay, so what are the different ways that you think people can be able to or avenues to be able to invest in property that people are overlooking, including this one of using text? And actually, what are the other ways that people might say, okay, maybe I want to get into property, I don't know where to start, and there should be a different way, because I also try to teach guys different ways actually that they can be able to start it. But I also wanted to hear from you, what do you suggest people look into?
Okay, so there is one which we have explored a lot. It's being an equity partner. Buying into a developer or a development that is doing very well, or that is yet to be done. It's not yet, maybe it's a greenfield project or it's an existing build that is going to be converted. Buying into that, as long as the numbers work, we call it equity partnership. I think that's the best thing to do. Even for the developer himself, you want to open yourself up to outside people or investors to be able to help you out in the business. That's number one. Number two, there's a real estate investment trust. So you buy shares in the stock exchange from companies that are investing in property. Right now, it's not doing very well, especially because rate is heavily invested in commercial or commercial building. Retail is doing very bad. Malls are not doing very well. Offices are suffering because people of COVID, people are realizing that, hey, we can work from home and cut down on the rent.
True.
So the rate, it's not doing so well. I would not necessarily advise for now. Maybe somebody will need to wait for that. Other ways, and I'm talking about privately investing, using your money and not directly being involved in the running of the business. And of course, the 12J, people overlook it, but it's the best way, using your tax. Instead 100%. Of giving Tito Mboweni your tax, you can invest and benefit from it.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 12J. What is it for somebody who's like, okay, I don't know what a 12J is. What is it and how does it work, actually?
Okay. So a few years ago, SARS developed what they call Section 12J, which is basically, it's part of legislation to allow people to be able to invest in small businesses specifically. Encourage people of high net worth, and I don't believe it's only people of high net worth. I believe everybody who's willing to invest can be able to invest. So it's a legislation. SARS says you can take your money, invest in a company, in property, hotel. There are different sectors. In our case, student accommodation. You can be able to invest your money and claim it back when you file for your taxes. A few years ago, you used to wait for 5 years, and then you can pay back the money that they gave you as a rebate. But now you actually don't need to pay back the money to SARS. So it's actually free money.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. And then so for somebody who's looking to start in this thing, what do they need and what do they qualify? Is there like, obviously different, as you said, it's for high net worth people. But let's talk about somebody who's like, who's watching this right now. Most of our viewers are actually youth. And we do have the average property investors who are like 55 years old also, and a little bit more. But I just wanted to understand, what do you really need for somebody to get involved in this thing?
Okay, so maybe let me put it this way. There are two ways. Number one, there are two ways of structuring a venture capital or 12J company. The first way, it's what we call a public. You make it a public company, but not necessarily list it in the stock exchange. So it still becomes a venture capital, but it's co-owned by the public or people who are investors. It's owned by the investors. So what it does is it allows for people to invest monies that are even less than $1 million.
Okay.
and
That's
which is
nice.
something that I'm excited about, but because we are for the underdog, for the people we are for the people who think they could never afford to invest in something like this.
Yeah.
So that's number one. The second one is a normal VC company, which becomes registered with SARS as a 12J. That one, it starts from R1 million. So it means we are looking at people who can invest R1 million upwards. And that can
100%.
range. It can, we're mostly looking at people who are, so there are different categories. You can invest as a company, like your normal company, your taxes that you at the end of the year that you have, or your profits, you can invest it and claim back that money as part of 12J investment. You can invest as an individual, like an earning from your salary based on the tax that you pay from your salary, or pay as you earn. You can invest as a trust. Maybe you are expecting, and this is a good one, Ezra, people are going to be retrenched. People are going to get huge payouts, right?
Yeah.
Out of that, most people are going to pay capital gains tax.
True.
Huge. They are going to be taxed heavily.
100%.
That's the money that you can actually be able to invest and regain that money back literally through a 12J. And that's a great opportunity right now.
100%. I mean, this is something that actually the people, more people must be knowing about and learning about, and knowing what options they have, and especially the availability and accessibility of this thing. But somebody might say, okay, so now I understand how it works. So you guys at the Joseph Company, do you have any projects ready for this investing using 12J? Or do you have anything that you guys can tell us with? And the second question would also be, sorry about that. The second question would also be, how long does it take until somebody sees some returns, especially if they look and say, okay, I want to be able to supplement my salary or my income or something like that in the near future. And I see that you guys have a project here per se. So how long does it take until somebody sees some returns on that also?
Right. So, sorry. Let me start with the second one. How long does it take? Because I think that's the most buzzing one. People are looking at when do I get to see my returns? So number one, the 12J, section 12J stipulate that you need to invest for literally 5 years. So you need to, your investment has to stay in the venture capital or the 12J company for 12 years. So you can pull it out. If you pull it out, you need to pay back those taxes to SARS.
Yes, sir.
So that's number one. Number two, that money gets invested in a project. Like if in this case we are talking about student accommodation will be making money every month. At the end of the year, it will declare its profit and it can declare dividends based on the performance. And normally we look at high performing, high impact type of investment. So at the end of the year, most of the projects that we are looking at is once the project is making income, they can declare dividends every year in the next 5 years. You can be able to earn the dividends and then get the returns of your investment at the end of 5 years when the project exits. Yes.
That sounds like a good deal. And do you guys have any projects that are ready? If somebody say, okay, now I want to invest, I'm looking for a project like that qualifies for this, and where can they find these things? Can you give me something that obviously my listeners can find? Maybe we can attach like something here so they can be able to find you guys.
Yeah, so we'll be able to give you. So we've got 2 projects that I can mention now. The one, it's called the Celestial. It's in Pretoria Central. I'm excited about that. It's our we've now broken the 500 million. The project it's 600 million, 3,000 beds, student accommodation. So people can invest in that. It's exciting. We've already got the funding in place. So it's a matter of that equity that we are raising. The other one, it's some residents, which has been a bit long on the cards. It was already approved for student, accredited for student accommodation. It's in Gezina. We are raising 13 million for that. So it's an exciting project. It's got a building already. So it's a ready and go. It starts making money quickly.
100%, 100%. I think I know some projects. I've been there and it had like a garage next door and big stuff. That was a nice, that's a nice project. And a good location too. A good location too.
Yes.
Okay, that's a nice project. That's a nice project. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about the Joseph Company. So if people want to know about what you guys do at the Joseph Company, because I think what you guys are doing is incredible there. What can you tell us a bit about that? And how can people be involved? And also, I'm going to ask you when you finish here to send me a video on, because I think that I once saw a video on explaining this 12J thing. So somebody who just saw this video, they don't understand how it works. So you can just send them it on the email and they can be able to see how this thing works and just familiarize themselves with that.
Okay, so you can visit us on our website, www.thejosephcompany.co.za. You can send an email to zodwa@thejosephcompany.co.za. We can give you more information. But basically what we do in the Joseph Company, we raise money. That's what we do. We make high impact investments. We make sure our investors get high returns. We work with developers directly, so we invest in property. That's what we are doing currently. Of course, as we grow, we will start going into other investments. So we've got three schemes, three ways of investing. One, it's equity investment, where you become a shareholder in the development directly. It means you become a partner and a shareholder continuously, perpetually. As the investment grows, your investment also grows. As the equity grows, your investment also grows. The second way is, of course, the 12J, investing through your taxes, which is a buzz thing. We raised in February, we raised 18 million through this. Wow. So we already have people that have already invested just from February, just before tax. Before the tax closed. Yes.
100%. Even during before the tax closed, I remember when there was a little bit of pressure on the tax.
Yes.
100%, 100%. Okay, so for people, I think you managed to answer some of the questions. I think we need to open up
sorry,
for this.
Ezra, and there's crowdfunding coming. We're making it available to the common man. Crowdfunding. People can invest as little as 2,000. Yes.
100%, 100%. So I think you just gave us a complete guide on how to invest using text, and I want to open up a Q&A for the people who have questions about some of the things that we discussed today. And then before we do that, I wanted to ask you this question I asked almost all my guests, and it's always interesting to figure out what they say. So if you had a superpower, Moses, what would it be?
That's an interesting one. I've always looked at superheroes as I prefer superheroes that have inherent, that are born like that. Because I believe everybody's a superhero in their own regard. We are born as mighty, dynamic people. We just don't realize it. So it's not about the suit that superheroes wear. Superman is one of I like Superman, unlike Batman, who wears a suit. Superman is born like that.
Okay. So what would your superpower be if you had to choose one?
I don't know. Keep making money.
So you can just pile up a lot of money. Exactly. You know the story of that guy, the guy who touches everything and it turns to gold. What's Midas? So Midas wanted this superpower, and now he touches everything and turned to gold, and his daughter. So he was praying.
Well, I wouldn't want to turn my family, but yes, everything I would like to turn it into gold.
Okay, now definitely. Okay, Midas touch, Moses with Midas touch. Okay, now thanks a lot, Moses. It was good to have you today. I'm just going to open up the question for Q&A for people who have any questions, and then you guys can be able to ask Moses some questions there. So do you guys have any questions for Moses? And please let us in the Q&A box so we can be able to touch on that. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So Midas touch, Moses, that's a very, very interesting one. I had guys who say, I want to have all the knowledge in the world so I can make better decisions. I'm like, okay, so that's a tough one also. I think sometimes ignorance is bliss a bit, but not too much ignorance. I don't know. I just feel like if you have that much knowledge, you'll have some problems there. I don't know. It's just my thinking.
knowledge is one thing. I would say wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay, true,
Yes,
true. Wisdom.
the ability. I mean, people have knowledge, but the ability to apply that knowledge is one thing.
Okay, okay. So is this combo recorded? Will it be available after this? Yes, Miranda. If you're on our YouTube channel, you can go and check it out. And thanks you guys for attending. If you already have a registered company, how do you go about making it a 12J? Karao is very ambitious. I like it. Yeah, that's a good one.
So
Actually, yes, I think
yes.
you can go in on that. You can go in on that.
So maybe the question is, does she want to turn the company? Does she want to have a 12J company herself? Karabo, if you could clarify, if you want to, yes, like we are doing, we are registering our own company. Currently, we are working. We have partnered with Impact, which is helping us with the administration on a 12J. It's got a lot of compliance issues because you become registered as a financial services provider. So there's a lot of compliance. So partnership for me works as a start. Then you can be able to register your own after you've learned and you've got somebody to help you administer the company, especially on the issues of compliance. You don't want to be caught with people's monies not being able to manage it properly. So that's what I would advise. Contact us. We can be able to assist you, partner maybe at first, and then help you register. It takes about maybe somehow 6 months to 12 months to register. Anybody can do it as long as you've got the right people and the compliance. You can reach the compliance. Yeah.
100%. And I just wanted to ask, is she going to be part of the silo of you guys' company, or are you guys going to be structuring it differently depending on what her needs are specifically?
So she can, as a start, we can work together as from a partnership point of view. And then ultimately, when a company is registered, it becomes a standalone company, 12J company. That will then, people will invest in that company. She will then invest in property developers or in different projects. Yes.
True, true, true. She says, where can I find you? Do you have any email that you can type in the chat box or something? Or maybe you can give an email that she can be able to find you at, because she wants to be able to get on that. And then guys, do you have any more questions? Do you have any more questions? Do you have any more questions? Moses at Muma. Okay. So you can just find the Moses email there. So we hope we managed to help you out on that, Karama. Do you guys have any questions? Let me just check my YouTube family here if this guy's asking any questions here. Interesting topic. Okay, I see having stone solo. All right, thanks guys. I'm glad that you guys like it. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions for Moses, I think we're gonna be ending it here. Just make sure that you also, I sent you guys our ebook. Just download that ebook if you haven't downloaded that, and I think everybody's downloading it. And then also, we also have our course, but the prices went up now, so you must take advantage of that too. So I see another question saying, can I be able to subcontract to some sort of, or some of your project? That's Sol Molekwa. Yes, Sol Molekwa is looking for opportunities.
Yeah, yes, Sol. So what we normally do is, I'm a property developer, so we outsource the construction work to construction companies. So we don't do construction ourselves. Yeah, so I am not in charge of subcontracting. We appoint the contractor, they subcontract.
100%. So meaning you guys are gonna have a main contractor, and then they can subcontract that. So he's rather he goes and speak to those guys. And obviously, if he's competent and he has a good profile and all that stuff, just also submit it and send it to me, and I'll also try to see who I can connect you. But it's much better also to connect with Moses. I think he sent out his email. There's big generous guys. Okay, I came in late. Maybe he had covered this. Miranda, what do you want to ask? She says yes. One more. What do you want to ask? Don't worry about that. Please ask us a question before he leaves. I think we're trying to take advantage of Moses while he's still here and ask him as many questions as you can. So you can.
Ezra, while the question is coming, I just want to say one of the things we've made it easier for people to invest through a 12J is we have, through our partnership with Impact, we can actually give you a loan to invest up to R1 million.
Okay.
To invest. Then when you claim your money back from SARS at the end of the financial year, you are able to pay back that loan. So, and I think it's an amazing way. So instead of having cash to invest up front, use our loan. So literally are investing with nothing. And
100%.
many people have been taking it up. So contact us, we can be able to make it happen for you. If you earn $1 million and up, that's even the best.
100%, 100%. So I see that, what's his name? Jonathan. Jonathan is always with us here, which is good. Good to have you, Jonathan. I'm trying to send you his email, man. Okay, so please check the chat box. Please check the chat box. Jonathan, Moses' email is there. I also just posted it again here. All right. So I see one more question from Miranda saying, 12J, is it more tax efficient than Trust Pty Ltd? Okay, that's a good question also. So that's a question from Miranda.
So Miranda, thank you. Fantastic question. So I look at a 12J as a vehicle to leverage on the taxes that you have on your trust and your PTY. So they are not at the same level. So you use a 12, you leverage the taxes that you are supposed to pay from your trust, your PTY, by investing in a 12J. I don't know if it makes sense.
I think that she can answer that. Do you think it makes sense, Miranda, or do you need a little bit more explanation? Okay, she's saying yes, she's saying yes. Okay, so she's happy. And then can I get this talk? Yes, this talk is here on YouTube, guys. If you guys are not on my YouTube, please check out the YouTube channel and then download, what do you call it? Follow us there, and then we can be able to get all these conversations. And then there's more interesting conversations that we always have every Thursday here. Okay, so nothing yet. Come on, Jonathan. We send you, please check again. I will send it to you again. Just check there. Moses sent it to everybody. Oh, Moses, I think you sent it to panelists, actually. You didn't send it to the attendees.
Okay,
yeah, it's fine. I'll copy paste it and send it now
to you. If you can do
everybody.
that, please. I've just sent one to Jonathan. If you can send to disseminate to everybody else.
100%, 100% to all the attendees. Okay, guys, yes. Thanks a lot. Okay, does it make sense? Trusts are so expensive to make. It does make sense. Trusts are so expensive to maintain. True, they are. Yes. They are. Okay, guys, I think this is where we're going to be wrapping up our webinar. And thank you guys a lot for attending and being with us today. I hope that we managed to answer all your questions. This is where you get all your property questions, ideas, and answers get answered. And we're looking forward to seeing you next week. As you know, we're always here every Thursday. With experts in real estate, in finance, and thank you always for attending. And yeah, Miranda, thanks a lot. Excellent topic always. Now, thanks a lot. Thank you guys for your continued support. I will also be sending you guys to your email a video on how this 12J works. So if you registered online and you're going to be getting this in your inbox, and you can be able to familiarize yourself with this thing and the concept much, in detail. Because I also learned it last year. And I didn't understand how it worked exactly. I was a little bit confused. And with those videos and a little bit more, and some of these sessions, I think you guys can be able to benefit greatly. Otherwise, thank you guys a lot. If you don't have any questions, this is where we're going to be ending our webinar. And Moses, thank you very much for joining us today. Looking forward
Ezra,
to,
always a pleasure.
100%, 100%. No, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, guys. We're going to be ending it here.